Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. So in this video it is part 2 of Let's Make a Vampire. And I just thought this time of year with Valentine's Day and things coming up, and I had this character in my head for a little while, why not make him? And in part 1, if you were watching, I did some initial pencil sketches and I sort of went over them. And I did say off camera I would work up on this character a little bit more. So off camera I have worked up on this character a little bit more. And yeah, I went over the initial, what I knew colours would be included in this piece. I basically threw them down on the paper. And as for other clothing and swatches, I wasn't quite sure, so I left it blank. But anyway, this is, I shall try to show him off as best I can. This is Ranulph, and he is sort of like a Tudor Stuart vampire creature, I'm not sure. So including with that is I did some writing that I'm going to try and fill in this video, and little banners and kind of sometimes speeches I add in, and little sort of poses. In one he's in kind of more sort of maybe 1700s, then Tudor, then all pink and purple. And then, yeah, more investigative pose. And yeah, investigative. And a little eye portrait, because I love doing eye portraits. And I'm still not entirely sure on what clothing what clothing colours I'm going to put on him, apart from the rich wines and purples. So I brought along a variety of different kind of pens and markers, because he's mostly alcohol markers. And I'm going to see how well they go on him. I brought along a little Stabilo sort of you can write with it. And then I brought along Artex marker. I might do the backgrounds in his backgrounds on these two in this. And then some kind of creative illustrative alcohol markers for his clothing. And yeah, I'll talk about him a little bit more. So, and I'll also explain basically what I'm doing now. So I had a think about him off camera, and I thought also on camera in my last part of making him. I explained that I think it would be interesting to have him in a setting like it's a sort of a Tudor Fay Stuart type of court, so a little bit like if anyone is familiar with Wolf Hall, a little bit like that, but there are fantasy creatures in it, and he's one of them. And yes, I don't know if he's a full vampire or is he another creature as well, but in two of these poses here, he looks like he's investigating. So I thought it would be quite interesting if he is able to taste blood, even from somebody that is not alive anymore. It would be quite interesting if he could, and from that he could determine, oh well, political intrigue is taking place because I detect poison in this person's corpse. And because of that, he is quite useful. So I thought that's an interesting ability he might have. So I kind of want to keep that. As for anything else, like eating or drinking or how often or when, I was thinking as well he may be able to eat like a a meaty kind of diet, obviously like a fully carnivorous diet. Not omnivorous like us humans, but and in juxtaposition with obviously the nobility of that time that ate just venison and boar and grouse and things that the ordinary people did not really see a lot of. In comparison, in a contrast with his kind of noble character, he may even eat carrion and dead things and not very nice things like rotten things. Would be quite an interesting juxtaposition, I thought. So I like that idea too. And along those lines, to enable him to kind of, he probably does it in secret. I don't think he wants any of his Tudor contemporaries in the court seeing this. I had an idea that he might be able to detach his jaw. Not fully, maybe, I don't know, or maybe it does stretch out like a little bit like a python. I'm being very careful the way I describe that, but he might be able to detach it wider than ours and allow him to take down quite small prey all by himself. So that is why I made that portrait. And the colours of that portrait, I'm not quite sure if I like them, so I might do something different with that background, but I'll keep going for now and see how far I get. And I kind of want a little sort of nighttime scene too. These are my Arctics, my acrylic markers. I prefer those for a kind of a block colour background. So that's what I'm doing. And I took a chance and I thought he himself, I want him to be quite pale, as you can see. But to kind of make a nice contrast with his pale colours, I like the idea of kind of these a brown background, and it gives a kind of a historical kind of, for some reason brown I suppose gives an aged historical look. So I thought, why don't I paint this entire page brown? I think it's the first time I've done so with a character. Now I could have found brown paper and cut him out and stuck it on. I thought, no, I'll do a different technique this time. So you're seeing here, it's actually the first time I've done such a thing. And yeah, it's working out. His colours here, the brown, this brown background was made in, I think it's Icon markers or acrylic. Now it wouldn't be, you need you need quite a bit of patience and you need to go over it several times. It's unlike Artex marker. As you can see, it is kind of blotchy, but I might leave that because it gives it more of an aged kind of look. But if you wanted it as good to lay down here as the Artex, I would imagine a few more times you would have to go over it. I've already went over this partially twice. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, I'm giving him a nighttime background here, because here I think I like this pose too. He's kind of more in 1700s gear, sort of maybe even more like a footman or not a highwayman, but he's in disguise to find out a little bit more. Not necessarily, I don't think his life in the Tudor court is all about hunting. He's in it for a reason, and yeah, there's a little bit of political intrigue going on. So that's the Artex. Now about the writing, I'm a little bit nervous about using this pen because I'm not quite sure of the nib, but yeah, I shall try and see. Is just checking, was the background done on this so he doesn't leak onto the next page, because yes, alcohol markers do almost always leak. So yeah, be aware of that too. And I will say the paper I'm making him on is my Zealer 350 GSM. Now it's watercolor paper. So that means, yeah, I know. Alcohol markers do soak through, and it can kind of shorten the lives of your alcohol markers, so do be aware of that too, because it's specifically made for watercolor pens, or well, watercolor paint and pencils, not necessarily marker pads. If you want to use specifically markers, you're much better with marker pads, or mixed media sometimes, I find. And this being watercolour, I did pick this because I'd be throwing everything at it. Then again, I might throw everything at it but watercolour, but however, it's watercolour a Sealer pad. It will probably be in the video description. And I should have said it last video if you watched in part 1. It was also what I was doing Ranulph in. I just forgot to mention it. I think I got so enthused in this gentleman's exciting story that I simply forgot about it. So yeah, you're hearing about it now. And I don't actually think I have need for that thick black pen because I like this an awful lot better. I never really choose black as in any of my works, just to outline. And yeah, I think it kind of gives them a little bit of an edge in that they're not muddied, and there's nothing. They're not extra dark. And this writing here now, I will explain. I did have to look this up. I looked up kind of a medieval font. I said so in my last video as well. Do indeed use Pinterest. It is one of the best tools for finding inspiration, of course. But also be aware that unfortunately you may come across AI. That awful word. But you may on Pinterest, so just be aware of that. But occasionally you will be lucky and you'll find nice kind of references and things that are not AI. Now, I don't know where I came up with this phrase, but well, going by the phrase unleash the dogs of war, I think that's the phrase anyway. I thought, well, it would be interesting to, as this political intrigue, and I don't fully know Ranulph's story here. It would be quite interesting to kind of push that, and I thought unleash the hellhounds of war is quite a striking phrase, and I made one up here along with him. I don't know if this hellhound accompanies him, but I do like the idea that in his kind of fey Tudor court, he might indeed have a loyal companion that is a hellhound. So it's not a traditional hunting hound like a dog that we would know of. It is a hellhound instead. So maybe somebody that knows of the two of them, maybe the hellhound is accompanying him, a loyal sort of a companion. I like the idea of somebody just proclaiming, if political intrigue needed to be nipped in the bud, someone proclaiming unleash the hellhounds of war, and they are referring to, of course, Ranulph himself and this hellhound here. So I think that makes for quite a Shakespearean and dramatic sort of statement, along with the writing, of course. It's just trying to find consistency in kind of the way I've sketched it out. So sometimes when I go from a sketch to a pen drawing, details are lost along the way, and I have to just either make them up again or just leave them. And that's currently what is happening. And consistency too is a bit of an issue. But yeah, I like these kind of little sort of character sketch dumps, as I would call them, or just a character exercise, because it allows me to kind of capture the initial sort of feel for a character. And I just thought, I like the idea of like a Wolf Hall type storyline, but with fae and vampire and all kinds of magical and different creatures. So I might put a little sort of speechy sort of speech marks here. I don't know if that's too hard to read, but maybe not. I can't, of course, see it on camera yet, But I hope it's not going to be too hard to read. And I think I will change the background. I like the fact that they're both in pinks and purples. But I might change the background to more a dark purple. I did a brave thing, and yes, sometimes a foolish thing. I did a little colour swatch off camera, of course, but I wasn't quite sure about that one. Now I do like the fact this is done with Posca pen. So I wanted the hellhound's eyes to be kind of like glowing with hellfire. So and you can see that here. So if I redo the background, I will of course go over that. But how and ever, I'm just going to finish his name down here in the writing and off camera. So off camera, I think I will scratchy off camera. I'll go over more of, yeah, that background. I'm definitely going to change my mind over. I'm not sure why I even done it in pink. I don't know. Regretting something the minute it happens is unfortunate. But as I always say, there's no true mistakes in art. The true mistakes, yeah, not in art anyway. I don't think. There's always just loads of different ways of doing it. And yeah, so just sort of, it is a colour experiment, that piece up there. Because I've never fully coloured a character in a background, coloured them in one same colour. And try and determine, you know, shadow and form from that. I've seen other artists on YouTube and off YouTube do that. Namely, I don't know if I should mention names, but namely Static Wool. I've seen a lot of her sketch pages. Sometimes I think she uses highlighter. I'm not that brave. I think my knowledge of colour or handling colour, I don't think it's that level. So yeah, I just think, thank goodness I didn't use a pink highlighter on Ranulph up here. But it's not something, even if I did, it's not something that can't be undone. So yeah, so poor Ranulph needs a little bit of a re-going over. But not to worry, not to worry. And his double eyes, I did indeed colour them. They're a nice wine. I'm not going to do pupils. I like the idea that there's a certain kind of, is it a deadness behind them? Not that he is dead or anything, but a certain kind of not like the light we have in our eyes. I think I like the idea that it might be to do with the fact maybe one set of eyes allows him to see kind of like a little bit like infrared, like a heat, and the other set is a little bit more normal like we are. So of course the second pair of eyes, maybe the smaller pair, it suits him in hunting or you know, his investigations or anything to do with blood. Now I do like this colour more, so I think I might do that going up around it. So that's a creative marker. And of course I'll be inking those in properly and highlighting them. Yeah, I do like that purple a little bit more. And as for his, here is his kind of 1700s cloak. I might dot that in now. So put a little guide in on what colours I want. Of course, I'll be separating, highlighting this, so inking in his shoulders, and I outline all of my characters in white pen. So that kind of, again, another Static Wool tip. Go check out her channel, by the way. She's a fantastic artist, really enjoyable to watch. But I picked up a tip about, well, I don't know if it was a tip, but I liked the fact that she would highlight a character in a white gel pen. And yeah, so I started doing that, and I like it too. And this is a Winsor & Newton Pro marker. I don't have a lot of these. I only have, oh, I might have jogged the camera. Did I? No. Okay. A Winsor & Newton Pro marker. I don't have a lot of these. They are very expensive, and I'm not quite sure if they're my favorite marker. It's cool if you use them, but to me they seem more like a permanent marker that a teacher with a blackboard uses, or a whiteboard I should say. But yeah, they're okay. I have them in sort of, I have one in red which I brought along, and which I'm not going to use, but I have the one in black here for his hair ribbon and his tricorn. So yeah, they're okay in the black. And off camera I worked up the fur details. So I thought, yeah, I like the theme of a little bit of fur here and there on his costume, because I like the idea that I want to keep him. There's a little bit of a wolfish quality about him that I like, and I think personality-wise it sort of suits him, in that I can imagine in the court, not necessarily that he's shunned or anything. He may be indeed, depending, but the idea that he's a little bit of a lone wolf character, and yeah, he does his own thing within reason, and I like the idea that yeah, his kind of personality wise is a little bit lone wolf, but there's a kind of an astute sort of intelligence to him, so he's not yeah, a little bit more like Sherlock Holmes maybe, but if Sherlock Holmes was in the underworld, or in the other world, Fey realm, and it was King Henry VIII's court, so a little bit of stealing from everything. I also went over his skin, so I like the idea that he doesn't have a lot of body features like horns or tail or wings or anything. But I like the idea that he's got a little kind of grey mottling, and he probably has them all over his body. I don't know, I just randomly decided that I might like to try them on him, and yeah, I like that. So I decided to keep with that, and the main colour here in his this side portrait, it's going to be wine. So I'm just going to dot that out, so wine and gold. I have to look up more references on a lovely Tudor kind of costumes. I have to look them up on, yeah, online, and see what other colours I can put them in. But definitely I made a decision early on. Rich colours like these navies, purples, wines, along with gold. So that's me dotting out. Certainly this is going to be the majority wine in this creative alcohol marker. Probably this as well, and I'm not sure, this might be better in light blue. The fur here was made in alcohol, these creative, this colour I think, creative brown shade. And I highlighted it in a little white Faber-Castell Pitt marker pen. So yeah, and I'm going to go around these maybe in the next video, and do some little, in fact, do some little stars, because I love sparkles on a character, and yes, he is a vampire, so according to lore, all vampires need sparkles. So yeah, I'll do a little guide about where I want more sparkles. You can never have enough. And then in the next video I might make a short about doing some of these sparkles, but in the next video hopefully he'll be more or less done, and I will be just going through inking him in, and maybe even filling out the rest of his costume. But he's getting there. Ranulph is getting there, and he's getting more of a character that I like. And yeah, he's got more body details that I also like. If you watch me anyway, you probably know well I upload very regularly, so every week, and I live stream regularly. So if you like what you see, so if you know me, like anyway, and thank you so much for watching and being here. And if you're new and you just stumbled upon me, I just mentioned I upload very regularly. So if you like what you see, you're more than welcome to like and subscribe, and thank you very much if you consider it. And in the next video, hopefully, this guy will be more coloured in, will be even prettier on his page, and I'll have more of a knowledge of what colours I prefer him in. But that's all for now, and thank you for watching.